Hey guys, welcome to today's pump chat. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite portables on the market, and that is the Pumpables Genie Advanced. Now this is a true battery operated portable, but what I discovered this morning is that this pump has kind of reached the end of its lifespan. I've had it for at least 3 years, if not a little bit longer. I had this one when I was pumping about halfway through my journey for my child who is now going into kindergarten in the fall. So this has had a nice long life, but I discovered that the battery has finally given out. One of the things I do like about this pump though is that batteries fail, but you can still operate this pump. I'm trying to get it so you can actually see it. But you can see the screen still comes on, you still have full control. That is really important because some of these portables and some of these wearables out there on the market, when the battery fails, your pump is literally done. And batteries typically fail very, very quickly. One day they're working, one day they don't. It's very rarely that we see there's like a slow lead up to the battery death. So with this, what I love about this is that we've got full control of the pump, even if you do have to use an external battery. This, again, 3 years hasn't given me any trouble. But this pump is popular because it matches one of our most popular, like traditional heavy duty pumps, which is the Spectra S1 and S2. This pump acts like a baby Spectra for pumping on the go. It is designed to be fully mobile. We have a lanyard here. You can just wear it around your neck. I don't actually love it wearing it around your neck, but it also comes with a built-in belt clip, which I really appreciate, and that was my favorite way of carrying it if it wasn't in a fanny pack. So this pump has 4 different modes. You have simulation mode, and then you have 3 different expression modes. The difference between the expression modes is going to be your cycle speed. So expression mode 1 is going to be your slowest cycle speeds. Expression level 2 is slightly faster. Expression level 3 is going to be your closest match to the Spectra S1 and S2 in terms of cycle speeds and suction pairing. This one is also, some people single pump at certain times and double pump at other times. Not every pump motor handles that the same. So for a lot of people who are using the Spectra S1 or S2, if they are single pumping one time and double pumping at a different time, they're going to notice it has a drastically different suction level when it's single versus double. This pump has almost exactly the same. I don't know for sure that they sat down and said, let's program this pump to match that function, but it is so close. It's very eerie almost, in my opinion, if they didn't design it to do that. And it would have made sense for them to design a pump to match that as closely as possible, because this allows you to get the benefit of the Spectra S1, S2 for a lot of people without having the sacrifices of carrying around a bowling ball. The thing to know with this though is that this does not have quite as high of a range. This is a portable where your suction and your cycle speeds are paired together. So let me pull up the double pumping chart. So when you are double pumping, like for expression cycle 1, you've got cycle speed 62 and 60 mmHg. But if you need to drop to 40 cycles per minute, now you're now at 180 mmHg. As your suction rises, your cycle speeds fall. Whereas on Spectra, we actually have independent control of your suction and your cycle speeds. So this does not have as much customizability, but for most people who are using the Spectra on level, say level 8 or below, when they're double pumping, this pump is going to be fairly equivalent as long as you're not using a strange combination of settings. Most people are using lower suction and higher cycle speeds with the Spectra. This has the ability to do that. Some people will find it doesn't quite match. If it doesn't quite match, we have 2 other wearables or 2 other portables on the market that we typically recommend based on your needs. But this is one of our all-time favorites because it does do such a good job for most people. I also love the flanges that this comes with. So these are the Pumpables liquid flanges. So what they are is an integrated, your flange is a hard shell, and where you normally have a flange hooked to a body that then has a separate duckbill, this one has a soft silicone flange insert hooked to your duckbill. What this means is that every time this duckbill collapses, it's causing this flange to slightly compress, which gives you a little bit of a massage action around the nipple. They do have a pretty good wide range of flanges. I do wish they would come out with a 13, so if Pumpables is watching this, that's my 2 cents. You need a 13. I see moms every day who are in desperate need of a 13 in your liquid flange. But right now the liquid flanges are 15, 17, 19, 21, 25, and 29, which means 90% of people are covered by the liquid flanges, and it's super comfortable. This is going to be closer to the way a baby's mouth conforms around the nipple. So if you have a very oval nipple, if you have a nipple that has a slightly irregular shape, this is going to conform to your nipple versus trying to make your nipple conform to a hard plastic tunnel. Babies' mouths are not hard plastic tunnels. So while hard plastic flanges may work really well for a lot of people, this may be far more comfortable. I also love a lot of moms do not want to pump holding their flanges anymore, and I think that's great. I think hands-free bras have come a long way since I started breastfeeding 12 years ago, and I think that's a huge win for moms. But these flanges are particularly great. While they are harder to get into your hands-free bra just because of the size of this, if you get a bra that works well with them, which the Davin and Adley bras work really well with them, the Sarah Wells bras work really well with them. They have this nice wide ring here, which means that it can actually hold it securely in your bra, whereas some pumps are trying to hold on to flanges more like this, and this is not the greatest example of it because these are actually pretty good. They have a nice wide base, but I don't have any of the skinny flanges out today. Some of our flanges are skinnier and more triangular, which means they like to push through the bra openings, and then they very quickly have an issue. Some moms did find that they could get them working into a bra by pushing them in, but then they had issues with this coming loose because this needs to be sealed around the edge. They do have a dust cover that you can use if you're trying to use this and get it in a hands-free bra and it's getting messed up. You can also use the dust covers when you are traveling with these because this silicone, the one complaint I have about it is that everything likes to stick to it. So any crumbs, any stray pet hairs, anything like that, if any postpartum shedding, that likes to stick to this. But these are overall some of my favorite flanges on the market. Most of my moms absolutely love them. And this flange paired with this pump allows you to get the power of some of our more heavy duty traditional pumps completely on the go. And this also doesn't take up a ton of room in your pump bag, which is really nice. You can fit so much more stuff in to your bag when you're using a smaller pump than you can when you're using one of the big ones. And that is a concern for a lot of moms, especially since they don't want to take a full suitcase to work with them every day. So is this going to be a portable for everybody? No. If you do not like vibration, and there are a lot of people out there that do not like vibration, this is not going to be for you. If you're somebody who likes the really strong vibration of a pump like the Spectra Synergy Gold, this may not be for you. These two are not necessarily equivalent. This is going to be a slightly lighter vibration than your Spectra S1 and S2. Definitely more vibration than what you're going to see with the Motif Luna and the Baby Buddha. So it is not as much vibration as some, but it is more than others. So it's kind of that mid-range. So not everybody is going to like that. If you are somebody that needs lower suction and slower speed, this is not going to be the pump for you. And if you're somebody who needs higher suction and higher speed, also not going to be for you. So if you are using your Spectra above that level 7, level 8, definitely check the cycle charts, check with your LC, see what, if your settings match really easily. Because one of the advantages of this is that it should match pretty easily to what you're doing. Otherwise, they're probably a better portable for you out there. Big thing to know with this company, they've always had a really good warranty, really high quality. And I know that's funny because I started out this video telling you that I just found out that mine is dead. But again, it's 3 years and I am not going to bat an eye when it's been 3 years. My warranty was up at 2. It's time for me to replace this pump, and I think it will still be a solid investment. I will happily give them some more money because the pump has proven to me that it is really high quality at a really good price point. It's $180 with the liquid flanges included. It's $150 if you just want the pump motor, and there's always a 10% off. We will link our 10% off code down below. But there's always a 10% off coupon out there. So it'll end up being $135, I will have another really solid portable motor that will have a 2-year warranty. That is the top of the industry standards. Their customer service, if something does happen to your pump during your warranty, is actually really easy to work with. They do also have a service that I think is important to know about, which is their Pumpables fitting room. So the Pumpables fitting room can help you fit your nipple to their flanges. They do have a proprietary ruler that is meant to fit these flanges. My only concern with this is that sometimes moms don't understand that they're being fit for this flange. They're not being fit for other flanges. So you can't go to the Pumpables fitting room and get a free fitting for a Willow pump or a Baby Buddha pump or an Arto Alyssa pump. You're really only going to get a fitting for this. And because of the way that these silicone flanges fit, it's not going to be one-to-one with other flanges. I really wish that instead of calling these, 15, 17, 19 millimeter flanges, they would call them extra small, small, medium, because it confuses moms. So moms are like, well, I went to the Pumpables fitting room and they said I was a 17 and I got a 17 and it works wonderfully. But they could be anywhere between a 14 to 17 and end up with that fit with the Pumpables fitting room. So when they try to go translate that to a hard plastic flange, they could be a 15 in a hard plastic flange or a 19 in a hard plastic flange, because it's not a one-to-one comparison. So that's the only thing I would really want you to know. If you're using this pump and you're using these flanges, definitely let them take a look. They are an expert in their product. That is something I can help you with as well. But Pumpables has a great service for you there. You can go get fit for their liquid flanges at no charge to you. And it's been a pretty good experience for most of my clients. So just know what you're getting fitted for and make sure that you're not using that information to sabotage yourself in other ways. But overall, absolutely love this pump. I think it's a solid pairing. It does pair well with cups. It pairs well with most cups on the market. I am completing some testing now that I know I'm going to be getting a new motor. I'm kind of wondering if that wasn't why I was getting some wonky results with some of the testing the last 2 weeks, because again, 3-year-old pump motor, I may have used it. I have used and abused and loved this pump. So I'm going to buy a new motor. I'm going to repeat some of these tests on these cups. And then if you want to know more about the Pumpables Genie Advanced and cups, hit subscribe, follow along, and we will have that out in a few weeks. And then if you are interested in more live events like this, please sign up at the link below. We will have a link below so that you can join us for these lives, so that you can answer questions in real time. So that is all I have for you today on the Genie Advanced. I'm going to go ahead and read some questions that were posted in the chat. Can I skip getting the Spectra to bring my milk supply then and just get PGA? Yes and no. If you are a second-time mom who had already used the Spectra, you already know your settings on the Spectra that were working optimally for you, and you've already used the Genie Advanced and know that it was a good fit for you, yeah, you probably don't need the Spectra, because for a lot of the settings on the Spectra, the Pumpables Genie Advanced is so close to equivalent, it's not even funny. But when you're talking about bringing in a milk supply, you're talking about a really big undertaking. If we get the settings wrong, if we get the simulation wrong, we may compromise your milk supply long term. In those first couple of weeks when we're establishing a milk supply, that is not the time for us to kind of mess around and take risks. So I would still say, when we're trying to bring in a milk supply, no, I honestly don't like portables for that. Because they don't have that customizability. There is one portable we'll be talking about in a few weeks that almost has that customizability, but it still just lacks the oomph that these traditional pumps have for that job. I am all about pairing the right pump for the job you're trying to accomplish. So no, I would not do that. If you are a second-time mom with a good milk supply, you could probably get away with it. It's an educated, informed risk. Why does the liquid shields feel like they're chomping on my nipple? Pumpable sized me. Well, not everybody is going to like the liquid shields, and nipple anatomy varies so much more than most people think it does. Most adult women have only ever seen nipples that are featured in the media that are likely, the work of a really great, talented plastic surgeon. Real nipples don't all look like one size and shape, so sometimes this liquid shield may not be the right fit. If you've already been sized and it's chomping on you, there could be either they didn't get you sized quite right, which, they're not doing long-term follow-up, so that is possible. Your sizing could have changed, your shield could be wearing out, or you could have something about your anatomy that makes something else be a better fit. So if you're having issues with that, definitely reach out, and a member of my team can help you. My bust is smaller than my band, so how do I find a bra to hold the liquid shield flanges? That is a really good question. So I have not ever actually had somebody where the bust was smaller than the band. Typically that's mismeasurement, and typically that is a case where somebody has the preconceived notion that they have really small breasts because they tend to have a small frame. So when they see the larger cup sizes, they tend to not quite understand. Bra sizing is relative. Your band is a measurement of your rib cage. An A cup would be 1 inch difference between the rib cage and the breast tissue, that is honestly, there's not a lot of projection. That's half an inch on each side projecting from your rib cage. So the chances that you are smaller than that as an adult woman who is lactating and has been pregnant, it's pretty small. I would say a true B or C cup is about the smallest we typically see, because even that's not much projection. If you're having issues with that, please book a consult. We will help you measure. We do help moms who have more unique anatomy all the time, so we are more than happy to help you with that. But that would tell me that maybe something's getting missed in terms of your understanding your bra fit. We do have bands that have smaller band sizes and can accommodate smaller cup sizes. I have never had a bust be too small for the liquid shields, and one of the reasons for that is it's so shallow. So if you have smaller breasts, this could be a good fit, just like it could be a really good fit if you have a bigger breast, because it has a nice wide area. This is really just, it is almost a universally good fit for most people. Not everyone's going to fall in love with it, but we very rarely have a problem actually fitting it to somebody. Are there any additional questions? Okay, so it looks like we are done for the day. If you have questions about this pump, please list them down below. Again, I absolutely love this. If you think this is a good fit based on the information I've given you here, definitely give it a try. It is not one that I see a lot of buyer's remorse with. So hopefully this helps you, and happy pumping.